Oh, less a question, but I guess the short answer to the prompt question was if I think that animals have a gender, and I don't think we're at the point where an animal can verbally say yes or no.
Sure.
But I mean, there are animals that have an intelligence level that's actually pretty high comparatively to like other animals, say like a dog or a cat. Like crows, for instance, are super, super smart and like wickedly smart. But I don't think it's at the level where we can communicate with any meaning on that level. So short answer, no. But I also actually had an interesting question.
To like, are we thinking about it?
Story.
Yeah, I'm sorry to talk over you, but just to say, I think it kind of depends on how we're defining our terms. Like, are we talking about gender in philosophical terms? Can we look at another animal and sort of project human thoughts onto them? And that can get really tricky in a lot of ways. It's certainly fun to think about. In any case, you had a interesting story for us about your cat, and I'm really curious about it.
Yeah, so recently I had to take my kitty to the vet because he had a UTI. And because he's a male cat, they said if that frequently becomes an issue, they'll have to actually change his sex into a female. And I kind of sat there and I looked at my mom and I'm just like, so my cat's going to transition before I do? Kind of making light of it. And I'm also thinking if that were to happen, I'd probably still gender him as he, him, because that's just what I had him as. And it's not like he can say, hey, Dad, actually, yes, I am a girl. Can you please say she, her? Because I literally like grabbed his little face and I'm just like, you're still going to be he, him, buddy, if that happens. But luckily there wasn't an issue and he hadn't had any further UTI issues afterwards because, diet change and all that. But the prompt sort of reminded me of that, where it's just like, I'm imposing my own view of gender on my pet, but it's not like he can say either way what I'm going to say to him. Like I call him a little stinky man all the time. He doesn't object. He's just like, pets, I love you. He's just like, oh, you're giving me attention? Okay, attention. Like I'm calling him a little stinky, he, him, himbo man. Like he's not going to object about that,
Yeah,
so
no, if gender is a human construct and we humans think of our pets as having one, does that mean that they have one? I mean, that's some pretty good, like, navel gazing questions. But this idea of your cat transitioning in order to cure a UTI, can you walk us through a little bit about like what that notion was, or what the medical goal was here?
It was more of like a side tangent that the vet had informed me on. If it was a reoccurring issue, if you frequently got UTIs, that is a thing that they would have to do, as they've done it before with male cats, because female cats are less likely to get UTIs. So that would be just a literal medical transition that you would have to have on a cat in order to have a better quality of life. But that's what I've understand of it and what I've looked it up about it. Because I've had other cats in the past that weren't mine, that were my stepmother's, that had also UTI issues, but they're older in years, so that wasn't really something that we had discussed about it. But I've had male cats before where they had UTI issues, and honestly, just a change of diet helped. But I just thought it was an interesting thing that they brought up in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there as a trans man, I don't have anything done. I'm just like, so my cat is gonna transition before me, and I'm like, Mom,
I'm looking the shit up right now. I'm freaking out because, like, in humans, people with female anatomy are more prone to UTI because females have a significantly shorter urethra than males, and that's not just because we have an external penis that also extends the urethra, but also we have a whole prostate situation going on. So my urethra goes like up and then loops through a prostate and like bifurcates to go down. It's a whole fucking system. Whereas with females, their bladder's basically sitting on the end of their pelvis. Like your fucking urethra's that fucking short if you're a female. And so like you have a higher risk of UTI for that reason. I am now trying to figure out why the fuck cats get them and like what's going on there. Apparently there's a whole issue with like this site from Blue Cross Vet Hospital says that female cats are more at risk for urinary tract infection, maybe for the same reason. And I've got this other site over here that's saying that males are more prevalent because they have a thinner urethra. And what the fuck is that all about?
Bodies are weird. Yeah.
Sorry.
Dylan, I appreciate
also
you
made
calling in. I mean, it definitely
because,
raises some really interesting questions and just kind of reminds us about our relationship with our pets and quote nature and so many of the things that we're talking about. We certainly do wish you great luck both to your pet's health and to your transition.
Thank you, guys. But
thank you for giving me something to read for the next 5 years.
All right. You have a great night.
Sorry.
Take care, Dylan.
Oh,
I'm gonna be. I will be procrastinating from my actual job for a long time reading about trans cats. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, fascinating idea.